Hello, my name is Robbie Fitzwater. I am the owner and operator of Marketing Rhythm. We help e-commerce businesses with retention marketing, mainly through email marketing and SMS marketing. One of the things we get questions about all the time is like, hey, what is a post-purchase bounce back? What is bounce back automation? And how should I think about one? How should I run one? When should I do it? And why should I do it? So basically, we wanted to make that a little bit easier for you all. So we decided to kind of walk through our process. But basically, a bounce back email is something that a e-commerce store uses to bring somebody back into the back end after they make their first purchase. So it may be immediately after, it may be a few days after, but basically this is a way of turning someone in from a first-time purchaser into a repeat purchaser relatively quickly afterwards, which makes them, again, a more profitable purchaser and opens the door for some unique opportunities. How does this kind of benefit a business? Basically, if we can take that first-time purchaser and turn them into a repeat purchaser, that again becomes a much more profitable customer because, again, we're not paying the acquisition cost on that purchaser. Typically, 8% of visitors for a store make up about 41% of the e-commerce revenue for a business. So again, taking care of that 8% of those repeat purchasers really makes great financial sense for the business and, again, extremely profitable. So basically what we're doing is we're getting somebody to make a purchase, bounce down, and bounce back. If we can bring them back into our store, that's just a lot more valuable for us, and we have a lot of cool opportunities that present themselves from there. Thinking about this in terms of why this functions for a business and how this fits, we like to think about this as like e-commerce shopping and e-commerce experience is kind of like spearfishing, where you're in a store for one specific item, you're going to get those specific items or one specific item that you're looking for. You're not going to browse and experience the same way you would in a typical retail environment. We don't have the bread and the milk at different ends of the store to pull people through the store and to get different things and have some impulse purchases. So because we know that this is the way people behave in this space, being a little bit more directed, a little bit more structured, we want to basically understand, hey, how can we bring them back in to explore our store a little bit more, and how can we merchandise a little bit more? So this is where our email automations really play a large role, where we can basically run a bounce back to hopefully get them back into the store and make sure that they can hopefully see other things that may be available, where they may be complementary products that we sell that they may not know about, and basically a way for us to kind of extend the value that they received the first time. It can be through email or SMS or possibly both, probably, hopefully both. Basically thinking about this in a way of like on the retail side where we want to have the bread and the milk at different ends of the grocery store, we want to have different things being presented to them in this bounce back email, so it may be helpful to kind of understand where they're purchasing from, what's going to be valuable to them, and then also we can do some merchandising and some custom product recommendations for those specific categories they may be purchasing in, because we know a little bit more about them than we did before, and we can use that to, again, get on our toes and serve them in unique ways. Also, in so many ways, like it sounds kind of crazy, people purchasing right afterwards, it's like we're kind of piggybacking off that serotonin rush they get making a purchase. They feel really satisfied, they feel really excited after they make a purchase. Like basically follow that emotional peak with something else, an extended offer, where you can kind of piggyback off of that and hopefully drive a second purchase quickly. So for a bounce back automation, where do you want to run it? Ideally, we like to look at businesses and customers that are purchasing for the first time. We may not want to run this every single time to our customers because, again, we don't want to necessarily be playing the discount game. But basically, if we do this for first-time purchasers, if they haven't purchased a large basket or they may be making the first purchase, we may be able to hopefully bring them back in to kind of extend what they're going to be purchasing and hopefully capture a little bit more revenue. But also, where does this fit into the buyer's journey? Is it going to be helpful? Is it going to be relevant? Also, what type of incentive do we want to be using? Typically, we recommend an extension of possibly the incentive you use to capture the data on the front end. So if that's free shipping, if that's 10% off, whatever that is for your e-commerce store, we want to run an extension off that. You don't have to do the exact same thing, but following that with, oh yeah, hey, just in case there's anything you missed, here's that same offer for the next 48 hours. It gives them a really nice way of kind of extending that experience in some different ways, and it also gives them a way of an excuse basically to go back into the store and browse more. This is a really surprising one for a lot of people because they think like, hey, people just bought, they got everything they needed. That's not necessarily always the case, and this is a really easy way to bring them back and give them just a little bit of an incentive to come back in. And also, we like to run them off of the holidays. We constantly run our holiday bounce back automation. Afterwards, basically, once Black Friday, Cyber Monday ends, we run our holiday bounce back right after that. So basically, starting the morning after Cyber Monday, we will run a holiday bounce back to anybody who purchased in the Black Friday, Cyber Monday window. It's basically kind of a little bit watered down extension of the offer we ran during Black Friday, Cyber Monday that they purchased within. But in case they were so busy and they missed a few things or didn't get a few things on their list, here's the extension of that offer just in case to grab the few items you missed. It really becomes a nice value add. And if we can push those purchasers, if we can get 10% of them to repurchase within that small window, it's a huge win because, again, we're not paying the acquisition cost. We're also capturing more margin in that same holiday window without worrying about, again, bringing in all new customers. Okay, basically, how should it be structured? We like to start with an extension of that offer. And we like to start with also basically a time horizon. So where this may head and look like for you is you may look at that first purchase. You may have some type of delay. Again, that could be right after or it could be a few days after. Like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we have those a few days after. If they're purchasing right during that time without any unique or different discounts or any offers, it may be right after that first purchase, like within a few minutes to an hour. But basically, we have that delay. Then this is where we like to kind of separate things out a little bit. So if we know they purchased within a certain category or followed a certain behavior, we want to follow that up with something that's going to be complementary. So like category 1, category 2, category 3, or if we know a little bit more about them, we may kind of piggyback off of that to give them an offer that's going to be in line with the categories they fit into or have opted into. So we use the example of like children's clothing a lot. If I'm a parent, I may fall into this category. If I'm a gift giver, I may fall into this category. If I'm a grandparent, I may fall into this category. I'm giving them different things in those different emails that are going to be suited directly for them. If they purchase is like 0 to 3 month, 3 to 6 month, and then like 12 to 18 months, those are all going to be different emails and serving them in different ways. So like this is what maybe like looking at what your toddler may need, or like this is how many onesies a baby needs. Those are all ways that we can kind of piggyback off of that. And after we have a little bit of data, we can offer custom product recommendations. If you're using Klaviyo, it's pretty easy to do on the e-commerce side, so that's a really unique opportunity there. We basically will send that offer afterwards, give it a time horizon, maybe again 48 hours, maybe 72 hours, but make it smaller, make it a shorter window to kind of add a little bit of urgency, send the offer, and then follow up when that expires. So like a day later, you may send an SMS saying like, hey, this expires in 24 hours. And then maybe an email 12 hours after that saying like, hey, you have 12 hours left. Just basically kind of piggybacking and playing, we like to call it ping pong, like SMS and email playing ping pong with each other to kind of keep that conversation going. And it's just going to be a little bit different nudge in both different ways. And when we segment those based on categories, we can do a lot better work. We can also recommend products that are going to be in line with that purchasing decision. So if I know that, hey, this is a like 0 to 3 month purchaser, I can serve up content that's going to be in line with that 0 to 3 months purchaser, or products that are going to be in line with them because I know that that's what they're looking for. So I may be, again, suggesting like sleepers for babies that may not be relevant for like a toddler. So those are all things that we can do that make it really relevant, really unique, and really powerful. And when we can segment those based on categories, it gives us that unique opportunity. So basically, what a bounce back is it just an easy way to get somebody back into the store. Like I joked around about this, like basically they purchased, they came out, and we wanted to bounce them right back into our store. So if we can get them back into our store, it gives us a really unique opportunity to drive that repeat purchase. We can piggyback off that, like we talked about, like that serotonin rush they get right after that purchase. And again, making that purchase and extending that merchandising to a place where they can find more value in the products we're selling, it gives them a really unique opportunity to, again, explore more, and also for them to dive deeper into our store and serve them in just a different way. So that's where we find a lot of value in this. We use them in different cases with different clients, but it's become a really effective way for us to drive repeat purchasers within a short window of time. We're kind of expanding on what we were doing before and just serving them in different ways where we can collect, once we have a little bit more data, we can leverage that in a forward-facing manner. So hopefully this was helpful. If you guys have any more questions, let us know. We like to use these fairly frequently, so hopefully this was helpful, and we'll see you all around. Bye-bye. So, excuse me. If we could cut that would be awesome. But if we have to keep it in, it's cool with me too.